everybody. Welcome back. This is episode 32 of Talk to the Podcast. We got topics for you guys this week. A lot of crazy. I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes,
for
happy
those who celebrated.
Thanksgiving.
And in the U.S., we're going to just get started, jump right in on Kanye.
Let's get right in.
We've been, seems like every week for the last couple of months, we've had a Kanye topic.
There's always something to talk about with Kanye West. He's always finding his way in the news. And this time it's political. Last time it was, I guess, kind of political as well. This time, another meeting with Trump. So more political shit. He's on the presidential campaign run. He officially announced it. He took to Twitter. Y'all can go look at it. We all seen it.
I mean, if Trump can win, Kanye can win. I feel.
That's his
and
goal.
some people even disagree with that.
It's the same.
I just think I think it's equally as absurd, but
it's the same. That's what all of them. Isn't that what all of them are doing? Herschel Walker, sports player, Donald Trump, obviously, Dr. Oz, like all these random people that have no alignment, no career background in political campaigning, are the same ones going into it, and they're getting votes. Like, who's voting for Kanye West, really?
I don't really see a base for Kanye because he's probably gonna run like a Republican, like alt-right kind of platform. Black folks are not going for that, period.
No.
And then the alt-righters are not going to go for that because they're on code with their ideology that they're superior. They're not going to vote for a black man. Now, if he was like running with Trump, that would be different. Or if he was going to be VP, that would be a boost. He could get VP, I think, easily.
It's possible. The reports are that Kanye did ask that question. He went to Mar-a-Lago with intentions of him getting a running mate out of Donald Trump. So
try to imagine a Kanye presidency. Like, what would that look like?
Well, that's the thing. Like, some of the stuff that he talks about, and it depends on if you believe him, because at this point, it's like this guy's probably just up there telling lies for both the left and the right, Democratic and Republican, conservative and progressive, for both sides to just be like, oh, I agree with that. Kanye West has a nice vision. I wouldn't vote for Kanye West.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you can say this about a lot of politicians, right? Mm-hmm. But it just kind of feels like with Kanye, it's a little bit more obvious. Kanye is just in here to get connections and insider trade, I feel. That's it. It's like, it's just, and get kickbacks for supporting certain decisions. Like, I don't see where would it be a paradigm shift? It just seems like it satisfies his narcissism and it allows him to get connections that allow him to make a lot more money.
Presidential campaigns to me are just popularity contests anyway. I don't ever think that it's somebody who's in there that actually wants to create some type of change. Do you think that the last person that anyone ever really believed was going to change things was Obama? And I guess some would say Trump too.
For Black Americans specifically, so we don't even.
Sexual misconduct was another thing that Kanye West was in the news for. Adidas and Yeezy brand, some of the employees, I'm not sure the specific number, but some of the employees came together, wrote a letter, and sent it to those heads of the companies. We already know that Kanye, they reported that he lost billions of dollars because everybody that he had partnerships with, gone. So here's another thing to add to the list.
Yeah, I mean, all I have to say, this is like, if this is true, it's 100% believable. Like, nothing he does surprises anymore. Like, this is like really disgusting that he's betraying some people's trust. So let me just get that straight first. But it's Kanye. Like, it just seems like something he would do. I mean, what do you think is going to come of this? Do you think there's going to be, former employees are going to sue him? You think Adidas is going to back them? Or like, what do you think is going to come of this whole situation?
Obviously, Kanye's in charge of Yeezy brands, so nothing's going to come from Yeezy most likely, unless there's higher-ups that I don't know about. If there are, I'd like to know. But in terms of Adidas, their PR team comes out. Of course, they're going to say what they have to say. Hey, guys, we're going to put in the work to, let's get an investigation going. Let's get a probe over there at Yeezy. Let's figure out what the hell is going on over here. But is anything going to come from it? In my opinion, I think that most of these billion-dollar corporations don't give a fuck about the individual people, no matter how high. Maybe if it's an executive, but no matter how high up, I don't think that they care about what's going on. Tesla is another example. We talk about that all the time. We expose that example all the time of really toxic work situations. There's several. Amazon,
beyond
they
toxic,
had
they're straight up racist.
Yeah. So, and then we know Adidas history. So I'm just saying, I'm sure that there's probably, some tailwinds from that. I wouldn't be surprised. So when it comes to these corporations and them actually being allies, and them actually caring about the welfare of their employees and of their work culture, no, I don't think that anything's going to come from this that's tangible. Do you?
I don't think so. And I saw reports that said Kim said she was disgusted, as she should be. I mean, I don't even know. Like, it just sounds so like random and ridiculous to me. Like, you go to work and your boss is just like showing you that kind of content, that kind of like, it's like this. I mean, like, I think if they did sue, they definitely would win.
The individuals or Adidas?
The individuals.
It really sucks that Kanye is the head of Yeezy, and we're no stranger in American capitalism to really corrupt businessmen and business owners, I should say. That's one of the topics that we have actually talking about business owners coming up, talking about Jerry Jones. So tune in for that. But what a conversation that'll be. But so like I'm just saying, like with Kanye West, do you think he's gonna even hold himself accountable? I'm stuttering on my words.
No, he never does. Why would he start now?
True. Well, he's apologized. He's apologized. So wouldn't you say that's accountability?
Yeah, but it's Kanye. I mean, like, he'll apologize, but like then the next week, a dude will do something in the same vein that's 10 steps ahead of what he did previously, showing he doesn't care.
And people hate accountability. Isn't that everybody's major flaw? Maybe that's just a humanity thing. We're all hypocrites. He's one of the biggest ones that says it, right?
Yeah.
Look at Kanye West fans. You're talking about, people want to just die on a hill, not taking accountability. Look at Kanye West fans. Every single person that's trying to cape for Kanye West right now, after all the shit that he said, all of the wrong shit that he said out loud and stood on it, they're trying to die on that hill too. So one of the things we were talking about off mic is like, should it even be socially acceptable for people to be fans, openly a fan of Kanye West at this point? I mean, he's offended many groups.
I'm not gonna tell anybody who you can and can't be a fan of, right?
True.
But what I will say is the freedom of speech, like I said, the freedom to like who you like, right? Cool. But also you're probably gonna be criticized.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
And that's on you. If you open about it, cool. Nobody, I mean, I don't care. Like, I have my beliefs about Kanye and Kanye fans and people who still support him. You support him, that's cool, man. I'm not gonna criticize you, but other people might.
It's true.
So yeah, that's really on you.
Let's go into our next topic. A lot of the times, fandom will just move on from somebody. We're talking about Chris Brown in the AMAs. They booed his ass when he won an award at the AMAs this past week. What do you think about them canceling his performance? You think it was due to anything of the past? Hint, hint.
Well, I've seen a lot of people say that it was due to the whole situation with him and Rihanna, that he shouldn't be. I've seen people said that, like, you have an abuser representing a pedophile. I saw that on Twitter. Not saying it, that's just the consensus of what I've seen. People who are okay with this are saying.
Mm-hmm.
So he shouldn't be doing this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, we're gonna get into Jim Jones, but I feel like this is relevant. For those who already know about Jerry Jones. Not Jim Jones. For those who know about Jerry Jones already, you already know what I'm talking about. But for those who don't, we'll get into it later, and then you can go back and kind of get the full context. But people are like, if Chris Brown did these things all these years ago when he was a teenager, right? He's in his mid-30s now, I'm thinking. And y'all still terrorizing this man. He's already apologized. He's already made amends for it, right? And I'm not condoning what he did. I don't listen to Chris Brown like that. It's not because of that reason. I just don't like listen to his music like that. But I'm just saying, like, but then you got a racist white supremacist in a white supremacist mob, and you guys want to be all A-okay with him, right? I feel like people just pick and choose when they want to cancel somebody and don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to see you canceling Chris Brown and not canceling James Jones. What is that guy's name?
Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, argument, these are two awful people.
Since we're here, let's just move into the Jerry Jones conversation too. We can blend the two. Jerry Jones was exposed for being caught in a photo when they were desegregating some of the first schools. The North Little Rock school is in Arkansas?
Yeah, Little Rock is in Arkansas.
Yes. And I just think it was funny they actually admitted to it.
I mean, what's going to happen? That's
why did he have to admit to it?
We're looking at We're looking at the Kyrie situation versus James Jones. Why did I keep messing up his name? Jerry Jones.
It happens.
Tom and Jerry. I'm gonna think Tom and Jerry. So Jerry Jones.
Freudian
right?
slip.
My thing about it is like Kyrie posts a link to Hebrews and Negroes, and they literally lynch him like virtually across the internet, right?
Almost has to leave the
This
NBA.
guy actually appears in an old school lynch mob for desegregating schools, and everybody is just like, you need to leave him alone. And I'm like, that's ownership because he owns the team. They can't do anything to him.
Right.
Like Kyrie shares a link, and they got this dude. They're giving this dude 10 commands of humiliation,
Right.
to stop him, to punish him. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's really ownership, but that's also hypocrisy. That's the double standard.
No, that always happens. Yeah.
Because whenever something happens to a black man, does some eons ago, they lynch him across the internet.
Yeah, it's like wildfire,
When
right?
a white man does it, we need to get over it. Right, yeah.
Well, in this specific case, a lot of people are saying that it doesn't even make sense. So, like, if we're tying it to the Chris Brown situation again, Chris Brown's situation happened, what was that, like 15 years ago? He's had room to grow, and people are saying he should be forgiven. Give the man another chance. We heard somebody on another show, not naming names, say something similar to the Jerry Jones situation. It's 65 years ago, something like that, 60-something years ago. The man's had decades to grow. So some are saying, is it even sensible for us to be talking about a 14-year-old racist?
I think so, because how are you going to tell people what they can and can't talk about, right? They're mad at the fact that you have the nerve to even talk about it. They want you to just see, oh, this guy used to be a Klansman. I'm sure he's fine now. Yeah. That's how they want you to react to it. Right? But you see some guy who has all this power and influence, right? And it's the double standard of it all, right? They're having a problem with you talking about it. Kyrie actually gets met with serious action for the things he says or does, whether it's relevant or not, whether it's recent or not. Mm-hmm. You other people get pancaked for stuff they do previously, but this guy owns the team, so you can't do anything to the boss man, right? Yeah. But they don't want you to even talk about him. It's not like this guy is facing any kind of consequences. Mm-hmm. They just said it. Isn't it interesting? This guy appeared in a racist photo. He probably is still racist, and there are many people his age who are still extremely racist.
Well,
so odds are he's a racist. Well, like that's what all people are saying.
Yeah, and to speak to what you were saying about the punishment is supposed to come from the cancel culture, quote unquote.
Right.
It's supposed to be in the hands of the people to do the canceling of the owners and the people that are in the authority role. Is anybody going to cancel him? No. Why?
Because cancel culture isn't actually. I mean, to a certain degree, it's real, right? But when I'm talking about just straight internet cancel culture, that isn't real. Now, when it comes with people making decisions high up, then we can talk a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But in this sense, who high up is going to be able to cancel this guy? He owns the team.
The NFL?
What about the Suns? That's true. Could they force him to sell? Do they have power to do that? And they won't.
I believe they do.
Because this is not enough.
I'm only saying that because in the NBA they do
this
the same thing.
This isn't enough because he has deniability. It's not like he's running around saying N-word.
Wait, what are you talking? Are you talking really about? Is the NFL? Does the NFL have a case against firing Jerry Jones, removing Jerry Jones?
That's all I'm saying. Is like since he's an owner, how could they actually remove him, or do they have some kind of counsel that will force him to sell? And they won't do that because they have nothing. There's really nothing. Him appearing in a photo doesn't really mean.
You don't
anything.
think it's enough?
No.
Yeah, because it's not like an offense or anything.
He can deny it. He can straight up deny it, and you can't say anything.
Yeah, it's not like he was walking around the workplace.
You know, I made some bad decisions in Friends, and I wasn't a racist, but they were, and they just kind of said, "Hey, we're gonna go march and protest against this," and he just was curious and tagged along.
Literally, what he said, just curious.
That's what that's what I heard. Yeah. So how could you can't even argue it? So, yeah. But I'm just saying, odds are the dude's a racist. Like a lot of people from that era still on the same nonsense, and we're in these same pictures.
Hey, if anybody sorry to talk over you, if anybody has any examples of Jerry Jones being anti-racist and an ally for minority groups and marginalized groups, I'd like to see it. Then I will then call him not racist. I'm gonna just call it like I see it. Same with something like Chrisean Rock, right? That's another topic that we have for today. Chrisean Rock was on. What's this guy's name? Kasai? How do you say his name? I'm so sorry, bro. I'm not with that. And I'm not rolling with the YouTuber vibes, Twitch streamer vibes. It's just not me.
All right, yeah. So the guy's name is Cenat. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. Okay.
But Blueface and Chrisean Rock. We've been saying Chrisean, but Chrisean Rock.
Yeah, I get it.
We're
That's
on,
the other thing. My bad,
Cenat
Chrisean.
stream, and the memes rolled through. She was like burping. She was like, Blueface was rapping, and it seemed like he was like drunk out of his mind. He was like doing the whole offbeat thing, and he would like miss a word and get stuck. And the Cenat dude is just like not rocking with it at all. And she pulls up on him and just like stares at him and just kind of just like looking at him like, you better start bobbing your head.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would start bobbing his head. And it was like,
it was a moment, man.
Oh yeah, man, bro. There's like so many memes. Blueface was talking about like, you should see my house right now. And she was like, yeah, I'd be breaking stuff. Cause he's trying to put me out. He's been trying to put me out. And he was like, I'm never gonna leave. And she was like, never.
Yeah, she was like all up in it. Yeah, that was funny, bro. That was funny. He just like, what is wrong with her?
People are like, I don't know, man. They're very much in a very abusive, codependent relationship. Like one of the most obvious displays of that.
Yeah,
I've ever seen.
People, we sent each other that tweet. Somebody said that it's not Blueface that we need to be worried about in this relationship. It's most likely Chrisean.
She's actually the real problem.
It looked
I'm not denying what he's doing though, because the dude's abusive and they got full on fist fights. So I'm not.
No question.
Dude's still an awful person, but
needless to be said,
she clearly is pretty bad herself. Is all I'm trying to say.
Bro, she was dominating that entire situation. That entire thing was her moment, bro. I didn't watch the entire thing. I only saw the clips, but she was turning the fuck up in all of them. She was throwing chairs at a wall. She was, like you said, burping in people's ear, bro. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Hey, remember that book, No David No, or No David No? Right? I know you've seen that meme.
What is it?
Remember that children's book, No David No? It was like this really big baby kid named David. And they was like, no, you just like, he was like, yeah, they photoshopped her face and they said, no, Chrisean, no. About that whole thing.
Why?
We're going to have that on the clip. We're going to have that meme right there. Yeah. That was the funniest meme I've seen this week. That was the funniest meme I've seen.
I cannot lie, bro.
Yeah.
Even though I found the entire situation extreme, like their relationship entirely like toxic and just really distasteful, I almost kind of sort of am like low-key a fan of Chrisean now.
I don't like it because it feels very like Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives of Orange County. You get what I'm trying to say? Like they're like, I'm telling you this right now.
Loving hip hop.
Yes, if Blueface and Chrisean had a reality show, they would literally be happen. They literally would make. I think they are though. But that's what I'm saying. Like they would make so much money, you would not believe it. They are like, to me, they're like T.I. and Tiny on steroids with a spotlight.
Yo, I'm watching it. I'm watching it.
I'm telling you right now, they're gonna make so much money off that show.
I need them to greenlight 3 seasons. I need them to greenlight 3. I'm watching that. That's good content.
It's like, I don't know what it is about that. And it's not good because it seems like that's bad for them in general. But people are going to pay to watch the antics.
They acted a little bit too,
I've ever seen. Yeah.
She knows, bro. Because did you see her Thanksgiving meal on Instagram Live? Did you see her Thanksgiving meal? Her cooking and shit. She knows her brand is to troll, and she knows she's the female. I don't want to say that, but she's like a different version of NBA YoungBoy
people say
energy.
They're like, yeah, people say she's like the female Blueface. That's why they're so like, they're like perfect for each other, but also not, because they're the same. Like opposites attract, but they're the same, so they should be theoretically be repelling each other, right? But it somehow works.
They're
the same.
Sticking close.
Yeah.
They sticking close. Sometimes you gotta just get rid of people. And Disney did the exact same thing and took that to heart by getting rid of Kathleen Kennedy. Should we applaud that? Is this an applause-worthy moment, or is this sad, somber moment?
I think it's applause-worthy because
this is applause-worthy, y'all.
We need new blood, man.
We need new blood.
We need new blood.
Yeah.
I want them to bring in one of the biggest Star Wars nerds Like I'm talking expanded universe, expanded lore. Like before Disney came in, bro, I'm pretty sure they had like hundreds of books, man, and video games. I'm talking like lore. Like lore. Disney came in. This is not canon. Get this out of here.
Got rid of all of it. Yes, they did.
We need somebody who's like, bro, we're doing Old Republic and we're doing like
All of that.
Ancient Jedi and we doing like far future. Like we're doing like far, you know what I mean? Like Gray Jedi.
Just all the stuff that the fans actually want to see. Like all the cool shit.
Yeah.
Like show us all the dope shit that we know you guys have in the tuck. Because it's all the shit that you guys put out in the cool comics. It's all the shit that you guys put out in the cool episodic shows on Star Wars. On the Star Wars shows and like the Mandalorian and shit. We know all of them. And they do it consistently from time to time. They just don't want to put it in the actual movie trilogies, which is the problem. So here we have, at the same time as Kathleen Kennedy being removed, not her leaving, she's being removed. At the same time as that, we also have Bob Iger, the previous CEO of Disney, who it flourished under him, coming in once again and stepping into the role of CEO. So he's probably going to be the one that's picking the next president. I'm pretty sure he picked Kathleen Kennedy. You think he's going to pick somebody that's actually somebody that the fans like us are going to be in agreement with? What's the approval rating going to end up being?
I have really no
this election
feeling,
season.
But all I can say is I hope that they bring in somebody who takes the franchise to a new level. I feel like they've Disneyfied it too much, but that might not change. But if we get someone who's covering more interesting source material, it might still work out better than what we currently have.
That's all we care about.
I mean, it's
just the source material. Switch it up. You were saying
they need to give it they need to give another trilogy a try. And it should be either a distant past prequel or it should be a farther future.
Like, do you want to see less movies, more shows, or more shows, less movies?
I want more. Like a good example of what I mean is we need more Rogue One type movies. Jedi,
so more movies.
What if there was a movie about just Coruscant? Now Coruscant could be a TV show, just about like the drug empire in Coruscant. I think would be really cool.
Yeah, the Rogue One vibe was really, really fucking cool. I think if we're looking at like Kathleen Kennedy's career, just like in terms of since Disney has bought Star Wars, Rogue One is definitely the best movie that they made.
Yeah, Rogue One is like one of the best Star Wars movies,
100%,
in my opinion.
100%.
Yeah.
There's no question, right? Is that an
because it was so
statement?
Dark. I mean, it had to be dark. No, I think it's true because it was so dark. Because I like the darkness. It felt very not Disney, which is what people want to see.
Yeah.
So I feel like Disney is so like Nintendo is kind of like this too. They want to just be the everyman company. Like, oh, we make games for everyone. We make games for. They don't want to dip into the dark, and I'm like, there are plenty of people who will give you a lot of money if you do it. Maybe you can't expect to make. You can't expect. Yeah, you can't expect to make, all the money the everyone's do, but it will be a nice thing to exposure into to get people who are not on board with you, who only see you as the everyman company. They might come start seeing your movies, even if they have to rebrand. Like it could be like they could just make a whole new type of brand and just put it under that brand for their darker tone series.
Disney needs to call us,
even if it's on Disney Plus.
Lucasfilm needs to call us. In terms of, we were talking about the best. What do you think of the worst? Just real quick, what do you think about the worst? What was the worst movie, or what was like the worst thing that they made?
The second and third movie of the new trilogy was trash.
I think no.
I haven't seen Lando either.
It's Han Solo. You don't have to see Lando. It's Han Solo.
Solo. Not Lando. I mean Solo.
Solo was the worst thing ever. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that.
I'm biased because I like Donald Glover. I haven't seen it, so I probably would agree with you. But I like Donald Glover, so I'm kind of biased.
He didn't even really he didn't even really impress me all that much. I'm going to be honest. I don't think anybody was really that impressed either. He just was there. Like he didn't bring anything to the character. I'm sure people were like, "Oh, he had a level of charm," but nah. He didn't. It wasn't it for me. Let's go to your Glass Onion review.
All right, Glass Onion. For those who haven't seen Knives Out, you can watch Glass Onion because the movies are. I think there was like one reference to the first one, but like you can watch Glass Onion first and then Knives Out one later. But these are whodunit movies, and these are very much like lean into like murder mystery. All these people are gathered together. Somebody dies, and it's like, all right, let's figure out who did it. And it's always the person you least expect, or it'll be someone that is obvious, but they'll misdirect you throughout the entire movie with a whole bunch of nonsense to make you forget. And then you come back to the end, and you're just like, well, it probably was him. I should have known that.
I knew it the whole
time.
time.
This movie is, another murder mystery. This time it takes place on a private island. And they're making it a series because I guess in the original one, there were two main characters. There was a lady who's a nurse, and then there was a detective. With a detective, who's played by Daniel Craig. I'm pretty sure that's his name, Daniel Craig. He's like this world famous like detective. And, he investigated the murder in the first one, solved it.
Yeah.
With the help of the main character. And two, it continues with him. And apparently, they've already confirmed a third movie, so it's going to continue with his adventures of being a detective.
There is a third movie.
So the first one's about a rich family, and the head of the family dies, and this is all about them fighting for his inheritance, right? Mm-hmm. Second one is about a rich billionaire hosting a murder mystery party on his island, and he's inviting all his influencer friends he came up with. They were all kind of like 30-something, kind of broke in New York, and they all ended up becoming very wealthy.
Hey,
and
that's the goal.
There's a murder takes place, apparently. I don't want to give it away because they don't really talk about it in the trailer, but there was a murder that took place. I'm not going to say whether it happened on the island or before the island. And the detective was sent out. He received an invitation to go out to the island. He doesn't know where it's from. So that's all I'll say. But I love the movie, man. I got to give it a solid 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I thought it was great.
And you saw it in
theaters.
Had a
big commentary. Saw it in theaters. This is also a Netflix original they're doing theatrical releases for. Thought it was dope, man. I love these movies. I love the first movie. I saw the first movie in theaters. I thought it was like we've all seen whodunits. Like for those, we're going to talk about Wednesday too. Wednesday is a pop-in, Addams Family spinoff Netflix. That whole show is like one long whodunit. Basically.
Oh, okay, that too.
But I love whodunits.
Okay.
I love whodunits, man. Like we all have seen whodunits, but for some reason, Knives Out, the Knives Out series feels like a love letter to whodunits. It just kind of has like a clever, like it has an emphasis on it. Like we watch whodunits all the time, but it's like the point of the movie is like you're playing one large complicated game of Clue. You know what I mean? Or like Mafia. That's how the movies kind of feel like it to me.
So you feel like you can
people who play Mafia.
You kind of get like a little bit of nostalgia out of it. Like that's something that you used to like. Did you grow up with those like playing like Clue and stuff? Are you like a fan
Not
of the
Clue,
Mafia
but I grew
shit?
up playing Mafia. I grew up playing Mafia, and I love that. Like I love that, like not knowing who the murderer is and talking to people and seeing their tales and finding any evidence. I like that kind of stuff. Or like Among Us, and that's a joke. I'm ruining this for y'all. If you don't want to hear it, skip 10 seconds ahead.
Wait, is
but
this
they made a reference
alert?
to?
Do I need to close my ears?
I mean, it's nothing like big plot related. They just had a cameo in the movie.
All right, go.
And a lot of people reviewing the movie said this movie had a little bit of Marvel MCU effect that they didn't like, because there was a lot of like outside references and jokes. But at the beginning of the movie, the main character was like sitting in his bathtub and it's during the pandemic, and he's playing Among Us. Remember, he's like a world famous detective, so that's the joke. Yeah. And he was like terrible at Among Us, so that was like the joke.
That's corny.
But like I like Among Us because it is kind of corny. It is kind of people didn't like that. Like who watched the movie? Like there was little references like that they didn't like. Like
is there all Gen Z stuff? That only Gen Z is gonna get that.
No, it's very millennial. Like all the characters in the movie are like in their 40s. Like Batista's in the movie. I don't think Janelle Monáe is. Batista's probably in his 50s. They're like in their 40s and 50s. Isn't that his name, Batista?
Who?
The guy who plays Drax in Guardians.
Oh, you said Batiste. I was like, who the fuck?
Batista. Is her name Janelle Monáe? Is that how you say her name?
Uh-huh.
She's a major character in the movie. There's Daniel Craig, and there's like the lady who plays Agatha in WandaVision. She was in the movie. So they're all like 40s,
she's fired.
30s,
She's
40s.
fired.
Yeah, she did. I liked her character in this movie. So it was like, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but all I gotta say is like the movie was like a big commentary on the rich. Like I felt like the movie was criticizing like the Kanye's, the like Elon Musk's,
right? Jeff Bezos.
Like Jeff Bezos is the really famous like, because they went everywhere from rich politicians to rich Twitch streamers to rich models to rich tech billionaires. I mean, they hit all bases on it. Like all the major characters are like some kind of rich person, like a Twitch streamer, right? And he, I don't want to get into plot details, but they kind of commented on a lot of these people are just faking until they make it, and they're frauds.
Yeah.
They want you to believe that they're these geniuses, these just like successes, and a lot of them had huge legs up, or they're doing shady things behind the scenes to win favor of other rich people.
Yeah. It's that nepotism
And
shit.
They don't
like
care
all those
about people's
connections and shit.
well-being. They care about money and profit, and they will burn you down, if not even murder and kill you, to maintain a facade.
No, I mean, I love those types of movies, and I think that we need more of those. That's kind of like, there's not really a lot of those studios that make those types. There's not really a lot of directors too, or actors even, go the whole way, that choose those types of movies that are a political, social commentary and trying to tell a truth to the audience instead of just the Marvelification of it. What was the Marvelification of it that you were saying that people had a problem with?
Just like the references and just like the little jokes. Like they were like referencing like Clue, and like he was playing Clue. I think he was playing Clue. Maybe not, but I know he was playing Among Us, and there was like some comedy in there that people didn't like. Even though the movies have always kind of haven't been, like they've been serious, but they never felt like super dark. It's not like a lot of gore or like like in it. Like,
but they
kind
kind
of
of
like they feel like very PG-13. Feel very PG-13.
They just threw too many
PG-13.
like.
What were you saying?
They just threw too many like low-hanging fruit type jokes. Just the corny shit, like how Thor was.
Nowhere near to Marvel's level. Like Marvel is like,
but just a little sprinkle of it.
But people, a sprinkle of it. People were like, oh, MCU effect is spreading. They felt like.
Was Wednesday like that? Get to the Wednesday one. Let's get their Wednesday review in.
We can do the Wednesday reviews. Wednesday was dope. I never seen anything. I knew what the Addams Family was. A lot of people in my family grew up watching like the OGs, like a lot of the OGs, like the '90s one. I think there was one before that, but like they grew up watching.
Yeah, that shit goes back decades.
I never knew anything. I never knew anything about Addams Family. I know what it was. I knew it was like some family of like Frankenstein ghoul-looking people.
You didn't even know what the snap was. We did the jingle for you. You didn't even know what it was when we were like da 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 da. You were like, that doesn't ring a bell.
No. Oh yeah, probably back then. Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But then I watched a video. I watched a review of the show, and they was like doing it. I was like, oh, okay, now I know what that is. Dude, I actually thought it was dope. I don't know. I really thought it was dope. It dragged a little bit for me though.
How many episodes?
Ultimately, it was really cool. I think it's like 8 to 10. I can't tell you the exact number, but I think it's like 8 to 10. Probably 8. And
where does it drag?
It was interesting. I thought it was. I feel like they just kind of go in circles a little bit too much, trying to figure out who the murderer is. It's way more violent than I thought it would be. It's a dark show. Like,
what's it rated?
It's pretty dark, man. I mean, like I don't even remember. I don't remember. It's Netflix though, so it's probably like unrated. But dude, like they're like showing body parts. Like dudes are getting cut up and body parts. Dudes getting kids, bro.
Oh,
like,
that's rated mature for sure.
Straight up murked. I was like, dang. Like I was like, it's like that.
That's mature. Like, that's rated mature for sure.
They found this dude.
Yeah. I need to check it out. I'm familiar
with. Wasn't this a cartoon? I was like, damn.
Yeah, I think they also did cartoonify it. I'm familiar with Jenna Ortega, I believe is the main actress's name from. I'm familiar with her from You. So I've seen her before.
Yeah,
she's a good she's a good actress.
New Scream movie.
Yeah. She was in that movie too, which I didn't see that one. I didn't see that one.
PG-14.
No way.
Mm-hmm. The movie was cool, man. I actually liked that movie.
You said it was TV-14?
It was surprisingly decent. Yeah, it's PG-14. Which is like, I don't know, it was kind of surprising because it was a decent amount of gore. It wasn't like a complete over, but like, this guy got murked in the first episode, this random like peon, like, fodder character. And they just found they found an arm, they found a leg. They didn't even find his rest of his body. I was like, damn.
Goodness.
Found his legs. I was like, damn.
They weren't playing around. Netflix don't play.
It's a much darker kind of show.
Yeah.
Compared to what I'm assuming used to be a cartoon in the 90s. So they weren't doing anything that crazy. It's probably for kids.
What's the rating on that one?
But I really like the costume design. Probably a 7.5.
No halves.
Which is for me is pretty good.
Makes it harder that way.
I say about a 7. Probably say a 7. because I don't know much about the show, but like when I look up like what the character looks like in other iterations, I think she looks dope. I think she fits very well, bro. She like for some reason she feels like she's born to play this role.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if you've seen her like in the makeup and costume, but she looks crazy. Like I'm like, damn, like I believe it.
No, that casting
I
choice
believe it
was
100%.
right. Yeah, for
I
sure.
believe it. She looks like really ghoulish and crazy. I was like, damn. I didn't realize she was that like she's like a psycho, like a straight up psycho. Like it turns into like the whole's like a whodunit detective. Like she's like a detective like the whole show, and she's like a sadist. I'm like, damn.
In real life too. Apparently.
I mean, apparently, for those who don't know, I think she talked about how she used to like do autopsies on dead animals. Like,
the fuck
like,
is
damn.
that shit? Who says that? Who says like you shouldn't say that out loud, bro? Like, isn't that a sign of of being a psychopath?
I think so.
Isn't
if I see someone cutting up dead animals,
yeah,
I'm going to assume you might eventually cut up
humans.
humans.
She said that shit, and
or
she just was like,
do.
"Yeah, I'm weird." I'm like, I respect the confidence though.
Yeah,
I respect the confidence.
And then one of the characters who played Wednesday in a live action series, she also played a different role in the show. So they did like little callbacks like that. Like I don't really know about the original, but I watched videos that kind of pointed out all the callbacks. Like the same actress who played Wednesday before, she did like a dance in the original, and then they had Jenny do the same dance at this little school dance scene. So they were doing like a lot of little callbacks that fans would probably really
That's fire.
And it was cool, man. It really felt like a detective whodunit mixed with like Harry Potter.
All right.
So I liked it, man. I thought it dragged a little bit, but I thought the art and set design was beautiful. I thought it was on point.
Is it all in black and white?
Tim Burton project, I'm pretty sure. No, it's like it's not. It's in color, but like, you know, her whole aesthetic, they got her so makeuped up, and her outfit, she looked like she's in black and white. Even the characters say this. Somebody tried to roast her and was like, she literally looks like a character who stepped out of a black and white film. That's real. Like that's how every time you see her on screen, bro, she looks like she's dead. She looks like a ghoul.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Well, longer than that, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was another episode of the Top Tier Podcast. You guys already know the deal. Catch us next time, next week, same time, same place. Episode 33. Peace.
All right, y'all.